Hi, my name is Bryce Coulston and currently I'm undertaking my civil engineering degree at Griffith University on the Gold Coast. As part of my engineering degree, I require 60 days work experience, and the following video is going to entail the 30 days work experience I underwent at Watpac Limited. Watpac is a construction and mining contracting company located up in Brisbane. Currently they have two major jobs, in particular one on the Gold Coast campus where I undertake most of my studies. It is the Commonwealth Games Olympic swimming pool, as well as the Queensland State Velodrome up in Brisbane, where the majority of my work experience took place. Throughout my time with Watpac, I had a couple of major roles, in particular the review of progress reports and documentation, contacting via email contractors and clients, site inspections, and also attending meetings to assess design faults if there were any, and also design meetings with contractors and clients, as well as with my industry supervisor Anthony Leonardi, who was the design manager of the velodrome. I'm just going to quickly cover the progress reports that I underwent. The PM would construct and compile a progress report monthly, which he would then submit to me and I would review. The reports generally contained the accomplishments for that month, and also the milestones and the activities that were planned for the next month and sometimes the following months as well. It also included the external and internal progress of the velodrome itself, externally as in actual construction and how the velodrome had progressed, and also internally through price variations and budgets. Budgets were a big thing, keeping track of budget, whether we were on par with the predicted budget, whether we were falling behind, or whether we were spending too much money was a big factor in these progress reports. Really my role when reviewing them was to make sure that there was no illogical or erroneous data that was present throughout it. And if there was, my role was to make the appropriate adjustments, if there were any necessary adjustments to these reports, to bring it into line into how the project was actually moving forward. This was all, of course, under the supervision of my industry supervisor. Whilst tracking the budgets, I also used a lot of Microsoft Excel and Project, and now reflecting back on that, I've become a lot more proficient in these Microsoft Office tools. I feel a lot more accomplished. I don't really struggle when I have to use them again, and I feel like when in a professional working environment, they're going to be really useful for me. Also using these programs, it helped plan and execute the final project as well. One of the main problem-solving exercises that we were faced with was the installation of gas cylinders. The velodrome had had a kitchen, so it was necessary for gas cylinders to be installed for the burners. As gas is a hazardous gas, natural gas is hazardous, we had to apply and review the Australian standard for installation procedures. Whilst reviewing this, we came up with an installation process or design in which we thought would accommodate these Australian standards. Upon installation, however, we found that there were two main faults that we didn't execute on. That was dual ventilation. We needed two methods of ventilation, just in case one method was blocked off. In case there was one source of ventilation and that was blocked off, we needed an external source as well that would aid in the release of gas in case there was a leak. So we came up with we had a full door that was louvered, so it had easy ventilation. It was never enclosed. And the second method of ventilation was through the Australian standards. We reduced 30% of the area on the surrounding walls. That was used as another method of ventilation as well. The other problem with our installation procedure was a lot easier to deal with. That was the gas cylinders had to be outside of a half a metre proximity to any electrical wiring or cables. So we pretty much just had to move our gas cylinders half a metre away from these wires that were present within close proximity to these gas cylinders. Upon inspection, it was passed, and really we applied the Australian standards, and the inspector passed it, and we really came out of that solution really happy with the solution that we came up with. We also really mitigated the risk that was involved in gas leaks as well. Also, that by mitigating risk, we and helped the safety, health and well-being of both spectators and employees at any sporting events that were to take place there. And safety was a major priority for Watpac. What we're now reflecting on that, construction and probably mining as well, although I have had no experience in that, is safety is the largest issue. The safety both pre and post construction is a big deal for both our employees and contractors when constructing the velodrome, and both post construction as well for employees and attendees and spectators of sporting events there. Another issue that we had with the design was that of the PA system. We needed an effective PA system in case there was an emergency warning necessary. Currently, we had a speech transmission index of 0.5. That was for 61% of the velodrome. That 0.5 value needed to be for 100% to ensure that if a PA was necessary, every spectator could hear that, and a safe and well executed evacuation system could be put in place. We used two methods of this. We used a computational model where we discovered that if we applied a different fabric roofing, we would have a more sound reflective roof, and that would enhance the speech transmission index to 84% rather than the 61. This, however, we found had a limitation. It didn't really take into account if there was a full crowd and there was a lot of noise as well. It didn't really take into account that well. So instead we also used a physical model using an STI meter, and we went around the velodrome and measured by hand up with the meter what the STI value was there, and we still got roughly around the 84% mark as well. So the two models, they equaled out pretty well the same, although they both had that limitation of not really taking into account if there was a full crowd and full spectator limit, and if there was a lot of cheering going on. So to count, after this we came to the solution that we would install speakers into the handrails in front of the spectators. We found that this would easily hit the 100% of the 0.5 speech transmission index that was necessary, and the solution was based off the conclusions that we drew from both of these models. It also, as well as the gas cylinder, avoided risk. It gave spectators and employees a really good warning system. No employee or spectator was ever going to not be able to hear the PA, and it also adhered to Australian standards as well. Those were the main things that I went over throughout my time at Watpac, but also working in a pressured environment really enhanced my organisational and communication and interpersonal skills as well. A pressured environment, I've come away from it knowing that I can deal working in a pressured environment. I feel that I'm more than capable to be in a professional environment where deadlines are necessary, and I feel that my professional abilities as well as my graduate attributes have really been enhanced over my time at Watpac, and I feel that I can really adapt to any professional environment that is necessary. That's basically this video report. I hope that you've found it informative to how I've become more professional, and also how I've adhered to a lot of the Engineers Australia and competencies. Thanks for your time.